Hey guys, I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about measurements. Measurements are definitely something that you're going to want to take. As you go along your journey, your changes are not always going to be visible by the numbers on the scale. And that's for a few different reasons. Your body is changing, so it's going to take some time. Your weight is going to fluctuate from retaining water or just simply flushing out toxins from your body and that kind of stuff. You might be bloated one day and weigh a couple more pounds than you would when you're not bloated. That's just stuff that happens. Your weight can fluctuate really easily. Another thing is that when you're doing programs like this, you are going to build up some muscle, and it might take some time before you lose some of the fat off. So you're going to be building up muscle before you shred out. So muscle actually weighs more than fat. So you might end up staying around the same weight, but you could look totally different. So you can take your weight, that's fine, but I encourage you to step away from the scale and rely more on pictures and measurements to track your progress. So I always take before and after pictures, and we can show you some samples of those too. But I want to show you what I do with my measurements. So I'll flip her around here, maybe. Okay, so on all of the programs, there is a starter guide, and you'll want to pull that up. And in the starter guide, there are tracker sheets. So you can print this off. I would highly recommend printing it off, or just write these down on a piece of paper that you know you won't lose. So these are the measurements that you're going to want to be taking. And again, these are on there for every single program. So you can find them on any program on BOD. You can print off a tracker for it. And then you just need a tape measure like this. You can get it at any craft store, Walmart. I have found really cool ones at like a Hobby Lobby, depending on where you live, what kind of craft store you have. And I'm just gonna kind of go through and show you how I take my measurements. Whatever way you do it, just stay consistent with it. But I will show you what I do. So the first one on here is chest, and I'm just going to go around. I almost always wear a padded sports bra, so I'm just going to make sure that I have one on again when I'm taking my measurements. You want to pull it tight and then see where it meets, but always pull it tight. It doesn't really matter if you measure it with clothes on, unless you're wearing like super baggy or thick clothes. I would recommend just doing it in like your sports bra and shorts then, but this is really thin today, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And then I'm going to do my arm. So I'm going to kind of lay it over my bicep and relax it. This gets a little difficult one-handed. But I'm going to make sure I have like a good hold on it. And then I'm not really going to flex my arm, but I'm just going to pull it up and then measure it from there. So I'm not like squeezing as hard as I can, but I'm pulling my arm up, and you're measuring around the biggest point of your bicep. Same thing for your left arm. And then you're gonna go to your waist. So I'll show you guys here. I do my waist where my belly button is. It is like the smallest part of my stomach. So I'm gonna go around like to the top of my belly button and measure there. And then I do another one that's not listed. That's my stomach, because that is one of the points that I want to work on. So I measure there as well, below my belly button. And then your hips are around the biggest part of your butt. So hopefully this one is getting a little bit bigger with Booty Days and 80 Day Obsession. And then we have our thighs. So try and show you guys a little better. For my thighs, I start at the top of my hip, where my hip bone is, and then pull this down to my knee. My dog is digging in the backyard. That is around 18 inches, so I'm gonna go halfway up to that at the 9, and then turn my measuring tape. So that should be about the biggest part of my thigh, and it looks like it is. So that's where I'm going to measure around my thigh. And I'm not pulling it super tight around my legs, but you can tell like there's not really any give in it. So I measured that and my other one because they could be different depending on if one of my legs is stronger than the other. Another one you can do are your calves, just kind of depending on your personal preference. So that's totally up to you. But these are the main ones that I do. And I've seen a ton of progress with losing inches or gaining them in my arms when the scale hasn't moved as much. So I really encourage you guys to take your measurements. If you have any questions, please let me know and I can walk you through it. We can do a Zoom. You can call me if you need help, but we could do a video chat if you need some help taking your measurements. You will seriously thank yourself for having these. So let me know if you need help. I can't wait to get started with you.